Welcome back. It's the Flow Friday Sports Show on Flow FM. Time to take a look at North Central Netball. We're always taking a look at different teams and grades, and joining me on the line to do that is the Association President, Kylie Walsh. El Presidente, how are we going?
Very well, thanks, Alice. Yes, like we said, it'd be nice to have a bit of a reflection on B grade this week and see how they're tracking through the association. That'd be good.
Definitely, and of course we'll speak about the importance of Maddi's round later on in the segment as well. But let's get going with B grade from last weekend and some interesting games to talk about. Let's firstly shine a light on Nullarbor and Wedderburn. Wedderburn too strong for the home side. Final score 33-62. The Redbacks looking good.
Yeah, they were. And look, the top of the ladder, Wedderburn, certainly demonstrated to Nully why they're on top without a loss to date. So they put their foot down from the get-go, and Paige Stevenson was aiming at the post like a bullseye. So she was hot on last week. And the Redbacks' multi-use of their players throughout grades is certainly advantageous to their success. And it was great to see Tess Jackson back on the court for the past few weeks for Wedderburn. But Nullarbor tried a few different combinations throughout various points, and their move in the third quarter, that was the most valuable in the game over the Redbacks. But yeah, the Redbacks certainly dictated this game with a 29-goal win over Nullarbor.
Bort showing some fight in their game on the road to Donald, but it wasn't enough. But a good effort anyway, 55-34. Donald too strong at home.
Yeah, that's right. And it was another game that was dictated really quite early on the game. And I thought it could have been a closer outcome with the injection of Georgia Hoare into the goals for the Maggies. And that was the difference of the game in the second quarter. However, the steady play and tactical direction of Donald Sancy Rye certainly challenged Bort, and they made a few changes trying to alter Sancy's gameplay and direction to her goal as Sarah McDonald and Sarah Staples working together smoothly. But Cassandra Adams was kept to single figures each quarter, which is quite rare for this key goaler, and that's a credit to Donald's defence, who certainly did their job effectively, and that enabled a 21-goal win over Bort.
Charlton clipping St Arnaud 43-35. Good display from the home side, though, and they'll be happy with how they went against a good team.
Yeah, I think so. And this was 7th versus 8th, so it was the closest game of the round for B grade. And when you push the running totals for each quarter aside, quarter by quarter, it was a very close game and probably a great one to watch for the spectators. And both Charlton and Sonata took opportunities where they could and altered the combination slightly to try and take some sort of advantage over each other. But Charlton were able to hold their momentum throughout the 4 quarters, and that's where they were rightly rewarded with an 8-goal win over the Saints.
It's always going to be a hard task for Witchy Narraport to do anything on the road to Birchip. So, they'll probably want to get back to the whiteboard and look at how they can put more scoreboard pressure on teams going forward, especially the better sides. But Birchip Watcham escaping this with a pretty easy win, 67-15.
Yeah, that's right. It was always going to be a huge challenge for the Demons, and not for the want of trying throughout every game. But, right from the start, the Bulls shut down any goaling opportunities that the Witcher Group Narraport might have created. But it was terrific to see Georgia Lee back donning the Bulls dress, and that certainly was an additional asset to the Bulls squad. But as I said, the Bulls really restricted the Demons to a minor score each quarter, and they were rightly rewarded with a very strong win of 52 goals over Witcher-Proof Narraport.
All right, well, let's take a look at the B grade ladder. The A grade ladder is very interesting at the moment. We'll talk more about that in a few short moments. But right now, let's look at the B grade ladder. Kylie, how's it standing out for you, and what might change over the course of the season in your view?
Yeah, well, look, Wedderburn Redbacks are certainly looking strong, and like we mentioned, they haven't lost a game to date. Birchip Watcham are nipping at their heels, in second position with only a loss to date and 1 draw. So they're still trying to fight for that top position, but sitting quite comfortable at second. There's a really nice challenge between third and fifth places with Donald, Nullarbor and Sea Lake Nandelli Tigers. So that's going to be quite interesting to watch how that flips through the back end of the season. And then we have Bort sitting 6, Carlton, Sonata, followed by Witcher-Proof Narraport. So, yeah, it's still looking quite interesting between those, possibly even the top 6. So it's good to watch in this competition that there's still possibilities of an alteration of the ladder.
Leaving B grade, going into A grade, Kylie, the A grade ladder is significant right now. particularly with some of the games that are going to be played out over the weekend, could certainly alter the way it looks. Remind us how it does look now after the latest round of games, which we haven't spoken about yet in this segment, and then we'll look at the games that we can look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, Alice, it's going to be really exciting post round 9, but at the end of round 8, we have Fort sitting on top for A grade, followed by Birchip, Watcham, Nullawul, Redback, Sea Lake Nandali Tigers, Charlton, Donald, Witchproof, Narraport and Sananas. But it's really depending on the win and losses over the weekend, this coming Saturday, it could flip, which is really exciting between the top 4. It could change quite dramatically. So that's going to be exciting. And we also have Sea Lake Nandali Tigers and nipping at the top 4 as well. So it depends on what happens between Charlton and Sea Lake Saturday could impact on that as well. So it's really exciting for spectators and also the players involved.
All right. Well, you mentioned there one of those key fixtures, Charlton and Sea Lake. How do you see that one going? And then let us in on what the other fixtures are that we are anticipating in tomorrow's round 9 action.
Yeah. So round 9 is designated as Maddi's round, and this is going to be a highly emotional game and round for Charlton hosting Sea Lake Nandali Tigers on Saturday. With aside from the emotion of Maddi's round and Charlton playing at home. So I think, as I mentioned, it's going to be quite an important game for both sides, nipping at the top 4 and challenging themselves. But I think it'll be really a great game to watch, and there's so much on the line that they're playing for. So I don't think I can tip against Charlton at home, particularly for this round. So I'm going to go with Charlton for a very close win over the Tigers. We have Wedderburn at home to Donald. I think Donald will probably challenge Wedderburn like they did Bort last week and try and challenge for an upset. But I think Wedderburn are still trying to find the right fit for their attacking end. But I think the Wedderburn will take the 4 points over Donald, but not with an easy. It'll be a hard challenge to get. But 4 points to Redback. We have Fort hosting Sanarnet at home, and I think the Magpies will be too strong for the Saints at home, and they'll lock in that top spot for after round 9. And we have Witchyproof Narraport hosting Nullawul at home. Nullawul, I think, will be too strong for the Demons. They'll want to deliver a solid 4 quarters to push themselves up into possibly the second position after round 9. So, like we said, there's going to be a nice bit of movement just depending on the win-losses over the weekend. So that's great, and see what happens for the back half of the season. And we have Birchip Watcham with a bye. So as mentioned, this weekend is Maddi's round. So we ask all attendees that are coming to the football to ask that they wear the colours to show their support on this day. Lavender is the colour for all cancers, and Maddi Fitz's favourite colour was green. All attendees passing through the gate will receive an awareness ribbon, and players will be wearing armbands and ribbons in these colours in order. We'll be having a minute's silence held prior to senior football, A-grade netball and women's hockey at 2:15, and that's just going to allow us to remember all those impacted by cancer and those we've lost to cancer in our communities. On behalf of the North Central Board, I'd like to give a massive thank you to our board member and treasurer, Fran Burnley, for her enormous amount of volunteer hours she's given back towards this round, and bring it to fruition alongside the assistance of our AFL Administrator Beck Mullen. And also a big thank you to Lance Sandfield from North Central Football League with his support for this round to go ahead. Also to North Central Hockey Association as well. I'd like to thank Intersport Nichols Bendigo for donating the netballs that will be used at the 4 venues. They're going to be then signed by A-grade players after the game and auctioned off afterwards, and the funds will go to Peter Mack. So this round's with the support of North Central Football, Hockey and Netball will unite us together, and that's going to show our support for those affected by cancer, both currently and those who we've lost. With the loss of Maddi Fitz earlier this year to cancer, it's certainly hit our community hard, and she's left a mark behind. So this round is in honour of Maddi and those we have lost and loved. So as we know, those who face the battle of cancer, that no one fights alone.
Kylie Walsh, thanks for your lovely words, and really hope it all goes well over the weekend. I'm sure it will. Thanks so much. That wraps up another segment on North Central Netball. We'll speak to you next week. Thanks, Kylie.
Thanks, Alice.